I was in pain all over my body. And I was asking, where's Autumn? That's my daughter. Where's Autumn? Where's Autumn?
So introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Jackie Winters.
Hi, Jackie. So what is something traumatic that you have been through that has affected you your entire life?
Well, for the one thing that I can honestly think about that really affected my entire life was, it was in April the 9th of 1990. I'm sorry. And I had a accident, and I can go into the story of that. I was traveling during my spring break from North Carolina. I was in nursing school, and I was traveling to Idaho to visit my family during spring break with my 2.5-year-old daughter. I've made this trip so many times before, and I would travel at night because my daughter could sleep better. It was just easier at night. Well, I'm kind of a hard nut, so when somebody told me not to go in a rainstorm with your cruise control on, I didn't get the follow-up why, and basically it's because you hydroplaned off the road. So with my daughter in the car, I hydroplaned off the road in the middle of the night, somewhere in Colorado, didn't know where I was frantic. I got out of my car, actually it was a Mitsubishi truck, smaller truck. I went to the edge of the road and tried to flag somebody down. It took forever for someone to come. And I basically stood on the edge of the road, trying to get help. And a lot of people didn't stop. They probably thought I was crazy. And finally, a truck driver, he stopped on the edge of the highway. He stopped in front of my car on the edge of the highway. He was able to pull my car out of the mud and put it behind his semi-truck. I got back in my car. I hadn't even put our seatbelts back on. I was talking to him. I was so upset, and he was telling me how to get off at the next exit for lodging. So then I remember him running away from my window, and I thought, where's he going? And that's when I later found out that a man in a caravan with 6 other passengers hit me in the back of my Mitsubishi, pushing me under a semi-trailer. And I had to later find out that I almost lost my life, and they had to cut me out of the truck and rush me to 3 separate hospitals. Some of them couldn't take me. I was so critical. So I almost died getting to get help for myself as well. I later found out, after I woke up 4 days into a coma, I was in pain all over my body. And I was asking, where's Autumn? That's my daughter. Where's Autumn? Where's Autumn? And the doctor said, she's dead. She's dead. So I tried to get off the table, but I was broken all over because the steering wheel, I went through my body. And I had a bad brain injury. I had a basilar skull. I could see in my ear all the way around my head. So they put me back to sleep to heal. And when I finally woke up and realized what happened, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that happened. They told me what happened, and I didn't believe it, and I didn't remember it. So I thought they were lying to me. I thought they were lying. And so for the next 2 years, I literally looked for my daughter, Autumn. It was the most painful time in my entire life. And my brain injury made it so I had to learn how to walk and talk, eat with silverware, and learn how to put my socks on before my shoes. It was incredibly difficult. They were testing me, and I had been in college previous getting my nursing degree, but now I was only at third grade level. I could not understand how this could have happened, and I later found out that the guy that hit me in the caravan was traveling with 6 family members from his own father's funeral. And because he had grief before he left, he chose to drink, but we'll never know how much because the scene was so critical. They had to get me help immediately. And they just laid Autumn on the side of the road, covered her up. For 2 years, I looked for her, and I didn't know who to believe or who to trust. I literally tried to take my own life because I couldn't live without her. It was so painful, and I felt like it was my fault. I didn't know how to stop my heart from breaking and hurting. It was my fault. And what I did do is I said goodbye to everybody, and I gave my car away, and I had a lot of medication from doctors for pain on my head injury, and I had saved it up because I don't like to do opiates. I'm allergic. And I took all those pills, and I went to sleep. And I woke up, that was on a Friday, and I woke up on Sunday shocked. What am I doing here? What? How did I mess that up too? I sat up in my bed and I began to look around, and I felt like a failure. I felt like a failure. And then I heard a voice behind me, and a very stern, strong voice that told me, it is not your time. It was so powerful and loud, I thought, who is that? And I looked to see, and there wasn't anybody there. But the back of my hair on my neck was standing straight up, and I knew at that moment it was God, and that I was never alone, even though I thought I was. So I didn't try to do that again. And I decided that my life had to go on, and that things must happen for a reason. I didn't understand, but it sent me shooting off in different directions, and I was able to lay down my grief and serve others in the name of Autumn. I did it for her because Autumn lives through me. Yeah. I just want to be the best person I can be. People don't understand brain injuries. They think, well, you look fine, you're fine. They don't see all the turmoil I have inside, the fear, the guilt, the shame. But I have had to learn how to love myself just the way I am. And sometimes that's so hard. And I work on it every day. It's not something that just happens. You seriously have to work on it. And I've realized to come that I truly want to help people, and therefore I am. Therefore I am.
If you would go back to when this first happened and being through everything that you've been through, what would you have done differently?
Well, I purposely wouldn't have driven at night, because now I know that it's not always the safest choice. I've been so independent all my life and could do anything, but truly, it's not safe to go at night. Second of all, I probably should not have been having cruise control after the rainstorm, and now I know what it does to you. I should have followed up on that. Third of all, it's not my fault. It was a terrible, terrible accident. And do I think the guy that was driving the caravan meant to kill my daughter? No. No. It was a terrible accident. Happen all the time. And was I angry at God? No. Was I angry at him? For a while. But then I realized that's terrible. His family was in the van too. But they all had those airbags inside that year, and so nobody was hurt. But I do know that his wife she later left him, divorced him, and they all claimed bankruptcy. So I don't think it was easy for them as well. No blame. I don't want to blame anyone. It just happened. Things sometimes happen the way they're supposed to, whether you know it or not. I had to say that to myself to find peace in all of this, that there was a reason. I feel like because I needed Autumn on the other side, she's my guiding angel, you know. Not everybody has that. I feel really blessed to have her, and I'm so grateful. So am I a victim? No, I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. I'm a warrior. And I did it. I survived this. And I continue by doing that every day. It's easy to give up. But I refuse.